as you guys know, the Destiny 2 reveal happened last week, and all three of us are excited.
You still have to convince me to play it.
I don't have to convince you.
No.
Bungie has to convince you.
He's already
that's
convinced.
true. He
doesn't know it yet.
So if I get it on the PC, you guys gonna get it on PC?
No chance.
You're going to get a PS4. You have a PS4, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do.
PS4.
You gonna get it on PC if I get it on PC?
No,
Chris, are you going to
gotta-
buy us a PC so we can play it on PC, so we can all be on PC? Are you PC, bro?
Yeah. What?
Different type of PC.
Different type of PC. But anyway, guys, so Destiny 2 reveal. We'll start with Carmine down over
I'm
there.
going to start with me.
Because you're so excited.
I am excited.
Jonah's more excited. I can feel his legs shaking.
Yeah, no, he's probably really ready to go. You know what? Let's hear from Jonah first. Let's get him talking first.
Jonah, you want to talk about Destiny 2?
Excitement, not excitement.
Man, I got like a Destiny 2 hard on.
Here we
it just won't go down. It's been here for days.
I thought that was for
I've been trying to call my doctor, but
We
he's
had the line, and we jumped across the line like 30 seconds in.
Hasn't lasted more than 36 hours.
Well, it's been about since, I don't know, yesterday.
All the tingles are real.
Oh my
All the
god.
tingles are real?
Yes.
There's
All
some
the glitters are gold.
Oh.
there's some stuff that I'm not too happy about, like the 30 frames per second. But other than that sword super, flaming sword blasts.
Janemba.
Oh my god, Janemba. So into that. And Captain America shield.
For those that don't know what Janemba is,
No, you do.
it's a Dragon Ball Z character.
With a sword.
And it's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome.
I have nothing to add.
And then there's
There's nothing to add. It has Captain America's shield in it.
Exactly. And then the best new super of all, the pole dancer.
Not best. There's no way that the pole dancer is the best. It's just a fancier arc blade.
It's Darth Maul.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Maul power.
It's
No,
like
see, I want them, like I was telling Jonah off mic, I want it to be like where he can do his whole spinny jumpy thing, but if he jumps up, I want him to be able to like throw the spear.
So what's to stop you from getting your ass handed to you while you're in the air? Are you invulnerable?
you gotta get good.
Partially invulnerable.
Yeah,
Nah,
get
it's
good.
because
You
when
take
people are
half
shooting
damage?
straight ahead, they're going to be too lazy to look up. That's my theory.
Like when you're floating up there with your giant sword and you're...
They're going to be
Man,
so
you can hit them
amazed
in
that
the air.
you're defying gravity. They're not even going to have time to shoot. And then the next thing you know, a big sword goes
That's
through
only
your
going to
face.
work the first time on the opening day of the first hour of the first player meeting that second
I'm a
player.
professional Destiny
and doing
player.
that.
I know what I'm talking
I'll
about.
bring
Everything you're saying is horse shit. I can shoot fire from my sword. I can cut with my sword. And the sword shoots fire. That's it. That's my case.
That's not the case.
Jordan, you never mentioned that the sword has fire in it.
Exactly.
So what's you mentioned the 4v4 30 frames, right? Or did you
Right,
mention that yet? What's your kind of thoughts and feeling about 4v4?
I think 6v6.
Crucible.
In regular 6v6 combat, I end up usually on the bottom just because
You suck.
everybody else is better and they always find each other faster. But in 4v4, I think you will all have a better chance at finding someone to
Hey,
get
you'll no
kills.
longer be sixth, you'll be fourth.
Exactly. And you mentioned earlier that in trials, since it's going to be 4v4 now, you're not at 33% deficient.
Yeah.
If you're really
25%
bad.
deficient.
So you have a little bit more of a cushion to get carried.
Got somebody else to help you carry.
So you're saying
Somebody
there's a
else to jump on their
chance.
back.
Yeah, of course. And if I ever go to the lighthouse, it's going to be because I get carried. I'm not good.
Hey, you never know. You never played Destiny 2. Maybe
No,
you're better
no,
at
yeah,
2
no.
than 1.
I'm a professional
Change
Destiny.
it up.
I'm Mr. Bungie. Let me play.
Mr. Bungie, I'm ready for my spotlight.
What did you think about the opening scene, Jonah?
Oh my god.
Like opening campaign? Well, they said that it wasn't like the first thing that you do, but they say it's pretty early on in the campaigin.
It was
Cut
like,
scenes
it got me
and all that
hyped.
other stuff.
It got me hyped. You see all those characters that you usually see around the table, and they're all fighting, and
You mean
they're
they're
kicking
doing
ass.
stuff.
They're doing stuff.
Zavala,
Zavala.
Cade, and Ikora.
Yeah, they're being badasses.
They're badasses.
Yeah.
You just never knew that they were
Yeah,
badasses.
Yeah,
whole
they never
time-
showed it to us.
Yeah.
That
Now
whole
they
time
finally have
you're
it.
yelling at them for not giving you what they want, for bothering you.
Giving you that ghost shell over and over and over again.
Now they're badasses.
I think it's really cool that they're adding them. Hopefully they keep it up throughout the campaign, but I love that, like at the early part of the homecoming mission, you have Zavala that actually threw down the bubble shield to help you out on an incoming fire, and then you had a core show up, wipe out an entire squad of Cabal, and then jump on the ship and take out that ship. Like, those types of moments are exactly what I want in a Destiny campaign, and I hope it's not just stuck to that one mission. I hope that it does come up as you... Then they showed in the actual reveal that, like, pretty much the Vanguard are going to get split up amongst these different planets, and you're going to have to go and find them and bring them back, in a sense. So hopefully you get that kind of interaction with the NPCs that, like, help you out throughout it to add to that narrative back and forth.
Yeah, and I dig that the Vanguard NPCs are not just like a place you go back to turn in your missions. They're actually part of the story now, and you have to go seek them out.
Yeah, exactly. So, overall, are you excited about fighting the Cabal again?
Yeah, and they have the new Cabal dogs now.
Well, I guess they're dogs.
Yeah, they're dogs. The Cabal dogs.
We can call them dogs.
Cabal Fidos. And,
All Fidos.
and they got all the new loot to get. They showed the new exotic hand cannon, the Sunshot, I think it was called.
Looks like the plasma rifle from Doom.
No, I don't think so. It's like a golden gun.
Oh, I was thinking of the wrong thing then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think you're talking about the heavy, the heavy that shoots pulses.
Yes.
That was awesome.
John doesn't know.
No, that one I know.
That's the one.
That's the one.
That's the
one
one.
right there.
When you say cannon, I'm
Exactly
thinking,
what I'm talking
bazoom!
No,
Not
no.
little.
Hand cannon.
Yes.
Pew pew.
Yeah, it's
Plow plow.
yeah, it's
Pop, pop.
like a pistol.
Is that like a one-shot kill weapon?
the hand cannon? No.
It's just it's the most damage you're gonna get out of a primary
Right. Yeah.
Got
based
it.
on the shot.
And the heavy that shoots pulses that was like that was the thing that was supposed to be in Destiny but was cut out, and then they lied to us.
It was data mined a while ago.
Yeah, they lied to us. It's not going to be in the game. It was just concept art, and then they're bringing it in.
It's still not going to be in the game.
Not in-
It was
okay.
only for the reveal, that's it.
It's still a lie.
Yeah, I don't know how that initial mission is actually gonna like go at the beginning, because like they're using their supers as the
Like right off the bat.
yeah, right off the bat. So I don't know if you're gonna really have all those new supers. I feel like that was just more of a reveal piece.
It's like, oh, hey, look what you can
Like, you're
have.
probably gonna still have your normal supers, and then you're gonna go out and find those supers. I don't think you're gonna start with those supers though.
I was gonna say that it looked really OP when he comes running in and he took out all those guys.
I get-
I'm just like, okay.
Well, I mean, that's what the supers are though. Like, the supers are meant to take out large amounts of ads. That's the way the game's always worked, and that's what happens when you go back into like the raids and stuff like that. You need those to help clear ads, do DPS, and they're gonna have these type of, I guess, like passive abilities as well, like you saw in like the trailer and the gameplay, where like the Titan threw down like a barrier
Yeah.
instead of like a full bubble shield. There's also one where the Warlock actually sets up an area of effect where I believe it heals you or it gives you more DPS. It's one or the other. So they have like even additional abilities on top of whatever your normal subclass is going to be, which is nice.
I don't think that the old supers are going to be in play in the first mission. I think it's going to have the new ones just to showcase. And I think that first mission is made to make you use those supers, because when Zavala drops his bubble, a bunch of orbs drop next to him, so you get your super immediately.
Yeah.
And then you're just supposed to go ham on all those Cabal with your sword of justice.
Yeah.
Sort of just fire, sort of maiming.
They did announce too at this reveal that they're going to have 4 new locations. One of them being the European Dead Zone on Earth.
Right.
We're not going to go back to the Russian Cosmodrome. We're going to be going to like the European Dead Zone.
European Garlic Jr.
Which evidently, I was listening to Kotaku's Split Screen podcast, and Kevin Schreier was actually mentioning that the European Dead Zone was evidently actually created for Destiny 1, but they like scrapped it or held it back. And we eventually got the Cosmodrome, but because Destiny was kind of like all over the place when they were trying to figure out the story and what was going to be in it and all the issues that Destiny 1 originally had, evidently they kind of held that back, and now we're going to get a full, more fleshed out European Dead Zone. You have also the Nessus, which is a moon. These other areas are actually moons, I believe, of our solar system. Titan and Io.
I think they're the moons of Saturn.
There's some that are Saturn. I think there's I'm not too sure about where it all kind of falls in the solar system, but I know they're moons that have been like terraformed by the Vex.
Yeah.
Or the last place. There's one which I think is the Nessus or maybe it's Io, is the last place that the Traveler actually set down and started remaking the moon as like a livable inhabitants area. So you have those new areas. You're going to have these wide open, well, I don't know about how wide it's going to be. You have to be seen. But like the patrol areas on the planets, you're going to have a lot more to do. And we talked about it, John, like the big thing that we're excited for is like those quote unquote dungeons.
Right, yeah.
Or
The
they
lost
call
zones.
them the lost zones. I hope that's in depth. I hope it's something you go into and it's almost like the length of a strike type of a situation. Will it be that? I don't know.
Yeah, I think we don't know enough about it to really say what it's gonna be like. But I hope it's a reason to go to patrol.
Yeah.
Rather than just
Yeah.
doing patrols.
Yeah.
Just go into the dungeons, get your loot, leave.
And speaking of those areas too, you're not going to have you're not going to have to go back to in orbit to actually start up your missions or anything like that. You're going to be able just to fast travel, I guess, to whatever activity you actually want to join, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, which is a time.
It's going to save a lot of time.
Yeah.
I don't know if my time played is taken up by partially my time in orbit, because if it is, then that number's been inflated because there's been a lot of time spent in orbit.
Yeah, that was not a good time.
But
It was a downtime. But you were saying locations, and I know in Destiny 1 there's a lot of retracing steps.
yeah,
Like the
there's
same
reused,
stuff,
they're reused
over and
locations.
Like you
over
do
again.
strikes like one way and then another strike a different way.
Yeah. Now, hopefully, I mean, what's your take on that? You hope that
I hope they
one
don't-
and done. That's it.
I hope
think
they
it's gonna
don't do
happen.
that.
I think it's gonna
really
happen.
hope they don't do it, because like it's just going to be, if that happens where they're reutilizing certain areas and you're backtracking of an area that you already did in a previous mission or a strike, then you're going to start getting the negative, the naysayers and the people very negative about what Bungie's doing, because they're just reusing assets in areas.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, if they're doing this giant patrol area and you're going to be pretty much going all over it and they're going to have to use some of those areas for strikes, I get that. But like if you look at what is it? I'm trying to think of the strike. The Undying Mind strike. That picks up at the very end of the game.
Yeah, the
Like
Black Garden mission.
you finish the Black Garden mission and it starts. You start that strike pretty much at the end of the game, and then you work your way backwards. So stuff like that, like if it's your first time playing through, you're not going to really realize it. But for people that played those strikes and those missions multiple times, you realize it. And Bungie needs to be aware that I don't know if that's going to fly, in the second iteration or not.
Mm-hmm.
But again, they're dealing with limited space, I guess. And it's going to be hard to say until we actually see the final product.
Yeah. I think they're going to have something where it's not like that. I mean, I think the first one, like you guys saying, Destiny 1, it kind of had like limited, things to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Like it had the engine, and they kind of had to work around everything with that.
Yeah, they had to remodify this engine.
Yeah, this one they pretty much starting almost from scratch for the most part, and then they can kind of create what they need to, and they know what's going to work and what's not going to work. And I think I don't see them doing it. I think they're going to have a better story progression and a way to utilize the actual, like for instance, like if you're talking about like just say Saturn and like all the moons, like you may visit Saturn once and then you'll bounce to moon somewhere different.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Versus like, okay, go to this same place like 50,000 times. If not, maybe now they'll have you on the opposite side, like different variations.
Did they rebuild the engine?
They modified the original engine. So what happened was Destiny 1 was actually built on a modified engine of Reach, of Halo Reach's engine. Mm-hmm. And then they went back in and had to remodify the engine that they had. I don't think it's an engine that's necessarily built up from scratch. I think it's more modified. Just because of the way that it looks and the way everything feels. It doesn't, well, like I said, when I say the way things feel, I haven't played it myself, but from what everybody's saying is that it plays very much just like Destiny 1, which tells me that they're pretty much just modifying the engine to add more to it. The good thing about this is, though, hopefully, is that when Destiny 1 first came out, it took a while for them to change anything without actually breaking another system, like somewhere in the game. With Destiny 2, they've modified the actual systems and the actual engine enough now where it should be very easy for them to create new content and modify the existing content. So hopefully what won't happen is that we get into these big spans of content drought between releases. And that's what everybody's worried about. Now Activision has committed to saying that there's not going to be the type of content drought, and they have a way now of actually bringing out more and more content to keep the fan base strong. Is that going to be the case? Remains to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're gonna have I feel like they're gonna do the backtracking in the missions just to make sure there is no drought game content drought.
They'll reuse the assets.
Yeah, but I think it's not gonna be as much of an issue as Destiny 1 just because they've had so much more time to work on Destiny 2 than 1, and they didn't have to scrap everything halfway through and start again.
It would be nice if, you have certain closed off areas where, they kind of, like, say it's the same area, but then this area is closed off for this, like, for whatever reason in this
And
mode.
that's what they've done, even for some of the strikes.
Yeah.
They've opened up areas that people have been able to glitch into and, like, kind of roam around in. But it's like one of those things that it just wasn't unlocked yet. So it's something that was working, and then they eventually patched it in and updated it. The interesting thing, though, is that with Rise of Iron, like, they actually added a lot in Rise of Iron, even though it was, like, the cheapest of the expansions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you had brand new social space that was added, and kind of a new area leading up to that social space. You had a new patrol area. You had 2 new strikes. Yes, because one was remade, though.
The Sepics.
Yeah, Sepics was remade, and then
The
you
rad
had
theme song.
and then you had the brand new raid. So that was, I believe, done in a year or less than a year because of the modifications they added to the engine. So hopefully they can give that kind of quality or that kind of depth of content a lot faster now in Destiny 2.
Mm-hmm.
But again, remains to be seen. They have multiple studios now working on Destiny. High Moon Studios that did the Transformers games and the Deadpool game. They actually have High Moon Studios helping out and actually helping create content now with Bungie to make that a faster pace of content.
Now, do you think there'll be more modes like the racing and everything like that?
Yeah, the SRL is going to be there. I don't know if they're going to do any kind of other fun modes. That kind of stuff's not going to be there at launch. They already kind of confirmed, too, that they're not going to have private matches at launch. Hopefully soon after. But we have private matches now. That's going away for a period of time. I'm guessing for maybe balancing or stuff that they want to add to it. And eventually, shortly after launch, they'll actually allow you to do the private matches again.
Mm-hmm.
Final thing I just want to bring up and kind of talk about, Jonah, with the way that they actually created the weapon layouts now with the kinetic, energy, and heavy. What are your thoughts and feelings on that?
I like it just because I like having 2 hand cannons equipped. Because hand cannons are the coolest weapon, hands down. But it's in Crucible, if you don't want to play with something like a fusion rifle or a shotgun in your secondary slot, you can just go with 2 primaries.
Yeah.
Or 2. Can you have like a shotgun equipped in either slot?
Like that's the thing.
Or it's just primaries.
All one-hit kill weapons now are now put to that power slot. So you're gonna have like hand cannons, scout rifles, pulse rifles, auto rifles, SMGs, sidearms. Those are going to be part of either the kinetic or the power. I'm sorry, the kinetic or the energy. And then the fusion rifles, the snipers, the shotguns, the rocket launchers, the grenade launchers. I guess the machine guns are all going to be put into that power slot or the heavy slot.
Yeah, I dig that.
To balance out.
Maybe they can stop weakening the secondaries then, and to just make, if they're equal to stuff like rocket launchers. Then.
Well, that's what I think they're trying to do. They're trying to balance out the Crucible as much as they can. I think this is what they kind of decided on. We'll see how it goes, but they really want the back and forth in Crucible to be pretty much between primary weapons, and then some of your supers, some of your heavy weapons, even like the small change of like grenades. One grenade is not a one-hit kill anymore on any level. Like the fusion grenades does not kill you anymore. Melee kills, you have to hit them 3 times with your melee in order to kill them. So they're changing that, and they're also upping the amount of the kill time. So they're going to have a little bit more health, so you're going to be able to maneuver and adjust. It's not going to be as quick. So we're not going back down to Call of Duty time to kill quick, like 3 shots and you're dead. They're actually going to be increasing it. But again, feedback from the reveal event and stuff like that, they might change that all before we even get to the beta. And when we get to the beta, they're going to change it all again anyway.
Yeah.
So
miserable.
Yeah, that's actually going to be a tough beta reaction.
It's going to be a rad beta.
For the beta. Not the beta is probably going to be fine because you imagine the hype for this game coming out.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, if they're going to, if they do things where it's kind of like the recycling levels, things like that, people will complain. They will complain about the frame rates. They're going to complain about dropping, like frame rate drops. They're going to complain about anything you can think of. I'm sure they're going to complain about. So it's going to be up to them to decide what's worth keeping, what's worth tweaking.
Yeah.
And they don't want to have a Titanfall 2 situation where it might be a little too late, because I feel like the beta hurt that game.
Yeah, well, the beta, it was interesting. I mean,
what happened with that game?
The beta was slower?
Slower, yeah.
Yeah, the beta was slower. Or, I'm sorry, the tech test was
It felt
slower.
like you had weights on.
And then they upped the speed the second week, and I felt like it was so much better. But the first week, if anybody played the first week and they're like, this isn't Titanfall, they're absolutely right. Like, the speed was just off. So it might have turned people off from that. But it depends. I don't think you're going to see something that's outrageously different from what we're playing now in Crucible without, and I think they're just going to minorly tweak it. The last big thing we just want to talk about is the 30 frames per second on console and the 60 on PC. A lot of people are upset about the 30 frames.
Yeah.
Rightfully so, or no?
Yeah.
I mean...
for me, I never really cared about the frames until I played, like, Overwatch on PS4.
Call of Duty.
Yeah,
and you notice it.
Yeah, because Overwatch is 60 frames. It never drops because it's stylized. You can just get all the power from it. And then when I went back to Destiny after a couple weeks, and it was just for a while it was just gross to watch.
Gross.
I was like, I don't want to play this.
It's like there's a goober on my TV.
Like you adjust back to it, but like you already know what's better.
Yeah,
right.
And I'm still gonna love Destiny 2, but it's upsetting. And the PC is uncapped, right? Not 60.
Right now it's uncapped. They haven't capped it.
Yeah, so
while you guys are playing it on PS4, I'll be enjoying it on PC at like 125 frames per second.
That's gonna be some really clear patrols.
Yeah.
That's the thing, Chris. You don't do the multiplayer side of it.
4K.
Yeah, but you don't do the multiplayer side of it. So 60 frames really, it's going to look nice in PvE, but you're not going to get the full benefit of it because you don't play.
Those means really nice screenshots, though.
I'm really going to be. I hate to say it, but I'm pretty selfish. It's all for me, really.
You got to try.
You're getting 25% of the game experience.
Well, they have guided games. He can jump into a PC
and I'm getting
game.
150% of the frames.
Do we mention guided games?
Huh?
Do we mention guided
games? No,
games?
we didn't. You can talk about that. Explain guided games, Jonah.
So I'm
tired of talking.
It's not matchmaking. They still haven't put LFG into Destiny, but it's if you want to do a raid and you can go in look for a clan that's doing the raid and they'll have what they're about and you can ask if you can do the raid with them.
They'll say no, of course.
If they could say no.
Some clans are pretty welcoming. As a community, I think it's great. I think it's good. The communities are pretty good. You will find people out there that will want to help.
Yeah. So if you guys play, you like playing with each other, you can add each other, join their clan.
You really poor choice of words there, but go ahead.
You really
like playing with each other.
And you really like each other. Yeah. You go at it. Go to town.
Jonah does.
I started this podcast with a hard-on. Why are you surprised?
It's true.
We're right back over that line.
And then we start.
Where was I?
I don't even want to.
It's all shot.
Anyway,
it's all over.
You add each other. You finally have a group to play with in Destiny. Destiny's better with a group to just log on with, and
they really kept pushing that on the reveal too.
Yeah.
So basically, it's not matchmaking like you think. So if anyone says it's matchmaking and hoorah, it's not. It's basically clan tryouts.
Yeah.
You're requesting to join a clan that's in a pretty much doing their thing and
doing a raid, doing Nightfall, doing whatever.
Yeah, and they're either going to accept you in, which, like you said, most of them will. Destiny's a great community. It's not like back in the day with 360 where every game you try to join someone, like people are muting you, they're kicking you out for no reason, all that stuff. Now it's different. Everyone's friendly.
I feel like
most of the time.
Most of the time.
The PlayStation
Except
communities. What do you mean?
You'll be on your PC, not joining us.
You guys didn't join me.
Yeah, that's how it works. That's
you have a PS4.
3 didn't join
Only a
1.
Sith deals in absolution.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Last time, look, I have multiplayer games on my PS4, and I asked you guys to play with, except for Joan. I asked you guys to play.
Let's see how it is.
I was too busy playing Destiny 1.
Division and other
Division's
games.
terrible.
I played
We
that with
talked
you.
about Division. That was a mistake on all your accounts.
What about
Ghost
Recon? What about Ghost Recon?
I
Where were you?
I was busy playing Destiny game, Age of Triumph.
I don't have Ghost Recon.
If I finish the Age of Triumph book, I get a T-shirt. What do I get? If I finish Ghost Recon.
You just got done talking about the experience of playing with each other.
What was the original question?
I don't know.
I'm done.
We were talking about the frame rate.
flip this
Frame rate.
table.
We talked about the frame rates.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about the matchmaking. It's
Yes,
not
data
matchmaking.
games.
It's clan tryouts. And so basically, you send a request. They let you in.
Yeah, not into the clan, but the event that they're doing.
And then
they don't have to add you into the clan.
it's
They
don't
probably
have-
won't.
They probably
just
won't.
saying. You're probably
They
a
might.
bad person.
You're like, hey, thanks man for the run. See you later. Bye. You may
Thanks
never
for
talk
helping
to
us.
them
And you'll
again.
never ever see them ever
But if
again.
you play it on
Like a
PC, I'll
one-night
let you
stand.
in.
They're dust in the wind.
He'll let you in.
Chris will.
Yeah.
You can join his 125 frames per second amazing 4K
I want to know if
experience.
you guys are going to play on PC or PlayStation or Xbox. I want.
So,
And-
Chris, what are your thoughts about them actually keeping Destiny 2 exclusively to Battle.net?
Right. Yeah.
I guess, with some of that happening, I wish they would go to Steam because Steam kind of centralizes all of my games. But yeah, and what's another login?
The reason, I think the big reasoning is like a pure financial reason. Supposedly, like whenever you put it on Steam or whenever you put it on like a lot of these marketplaces, they take like 30%, like right off the top. Like 30% of what you make off that game goes to the actual storefront, digital storefront, whatever.
I would imagine there'd be something like that.
Well, Activision Blizzard owns Battle.net, so they don't have to take that hit. And that's why they're making that exclusive to Battle.net. Not to mention, I hear really good things about Battle.net from a cheating standpoint, because like Overwatch, like they ban you. like they don't mess around. Like you screw around, you're done. They will ban the system that you're on. It's not even an account.
They will
they find
rip up
your IP
your birth
address,
certificate,
you're done.
pretend you never existed.
You go and you buy the game again, and they find out that game is done too.
They send you some threatening letters. They don't sign who it is.
Just
and
tell
every
your
week
mom.
just send
They
you
show
more.
up and they take all your left shoes.
It just keeps escalating until you're just
Is
terrified.
this the same Battle.net that did like StarCraft and
World of
everything?
Warcraft.
Here's of the Storm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Overwatch
I have
game.
no problem with that because Battle.net has always been really good. So
Yeah.
that's not a problem.
I actually read something that World of Warcraft tokens are going up in price because you can use them to buy
You can use
Destiny.
them to buy Destiny 2 right now.
Yeah.
There you
It's
go.
awesome.
Weird.
But guys, let us know what you think down in the comments below.